and welcome to Learn City. In today's class, we'll be looking at public opinion. Public opinion is the belief, values, and attitudes which are commonly held and expressed by the majority of people on a given public issue. Public opinion is simply a belief that is held by majority of people on a given public issue. It is the belief, the values, and the attitudes that most people in a country have on a given public issue. So on the issue of electricity, for example, whatever belief that we hold, probably the government is not doing well enough in the aspect of electricity. So far it is expressed by majority of the people, it is already public opinion. That is simply public opinion. Public opinion is simply the belief, the values, and the attitudes which majority of the people in a country have on a particular public issue. Features of public opinion. The first feature of public opinion is that it is not static. Public opinion is not the same forever. It changes. So, for example, the public opinion of last year might have been the issue of electricity, and this year now is the issue of bad roads. So public opinion changes, is ever changing. Another feature of public opinion is that they are mostly discussed in public. Public issues, public opinions are public issues that are mostly discussed in public. So another feature of public opinion is that it is the view of individuals in the state, expressed by private individuals and not by the government. So public opinion is expressed by private individuals and not by the government. It is the view of a particular individual in the state. But when the view is gathered together, a majority of people hold that same belief, hold that same view, it becomes an issue. It becomes public opinion. The next thing we'll be looking at is how public opinions are formed. First way we can form public opinion is through individual influence. So, for example, people that have high power or high authority in certain places can influence the opinions of other people, thereby forming what we call public opinion. So they can influence other people to look into their belief, to have the same view as them. And when majority of the people hold that belief, it then becomes public opinion. So the first way public opinion is formed is through an individual's influence. So usually people that have authority or great power in the society can influence the decisions, the beliefs, and the values of other people. And when majority of people hold that same belief, it becomes public opinion. The next thing that can bring public opinion is party manifesto. The sentimental and sugar-coated speeches of politicians can bring about public opinion. Now, politicians will come and point out all the things that are wrong in the country to you. And when they point it out to you, then the people start thinking, and it's true, we don't used to have lights well, there's bad road, the health sector of the country is in shambles and all those stuff. And then when majority of the people start holding the same belief, it becomes an issue of public concern, and then it becomes public opinion. So the sentimental and sugar-coated speeches of politicians can form public opinions. Also, political parties and pressure groups can form public opinions. When political parties and pressure groups or religious or social institutions have an issue of concern, it can form public opinion when religious groups are not allowed to worship the way they want to worship, and then they voice out their opinion, and majority of the people then they hold the same belief as them. It becomes an issue of public concern, and then it becomes public opinion. Equally, the mass media is also one of the mass media also helps in forming public opinion. So when the mass media performs their duty of informing people, and then people get informed of the bad security issues all around the country, the bad health sector, then people start holding the same belief that the health sector is bad, this is not good, this is supposed to be we are supposed to have good roads, we are supposed to have electricity, and then they start holding this same opinion. It becomes public opinion. Our peer groups and our trade unions um, can also form public opinion. The next thing we'll be looking at is the measurement of public opinions. The measurement of public opinions. Public opinions can be measured through the general elections. So through general elections, we can measure public opinion. So if a government has not done well enough in the last elections, we would know because we would know when the citizens of the country do not elect the person back in office. So through general elections, we can measure public opinion. Another way we can measure public opinion is through opinion polls. Opinion polls. We can also measure public opinion through channels of communication. That is the mass media. We can measure public opinion through the mass media. People voice out their concerns to the mass media through call-ins. They can voice out their opinions to the mass media by sending them, messages, sending them things that have happened in their area, and that is of that is of concern to all of them. Thereby, and people can measure public opinion through the channels of communication. They can also measure public opinion through the speeches of leaders of various groups. So when leaders of various groups voice out some issues, we can measure public opinion. We can also measure public opinion through response to government policies. When the government makes some ridiculous policies and people do not adhere to it, you know that the people are not happy with that policy, and you can measure public opinion through their response to the policy. The next thing we'll be looking at is the importance of public opinion. Public opinion helps us to be watchful. It helps to check the excesses of the government too. So the government can know when they are performing well or when they are not performing well through public opinion. It also helps the people to voice out their need. People can voice out their needs through public opinion, and it also ensures that the government puts in good policies in place through, checking the responses of people to certain policies. They can put better policies in place. Disadvantages of public opinion is that it may give the wrong picture. For example, the sugar-coated and sentimental speeches of politicians would exaggerate issues out of proportion it will exaggerate the issue out of proportion, and it will give people the wrong picture, and then people will start holding that belief without knowing the true story, without knowing that this thing is not as bad as these people are painting it to be. Also, it does not represent the general opinion. As I said, it can be influenced by a person, by leaders of various groups, and by the sentimental and sugar-coated speeches of politicians. So it does not represent the general opinion. It can be manipulated.